Bjorn looked at Misha. She was almost about to cry. He told her that sometimes she could do what she wanted, and that holding back would only benefit others. Misha said that they are not others, they are family. Bjorn asked her if this so-called family was more important than her own life. He told her that if that was the case, then he would stop here and wouldn't do anything. Misha thought for a moment, then turned and started walking without saying anything. Bjorn placed his hand on Misha's shoulder and told her that he understood, and that from now on, the thing she feared the most would never happen. Then the guard spoke again and asked Bjorn what nonsense they were talking about. He was about to say more, but Bjorn flicked his finger hard on the guard's head. Just from that, the guard almost died. Then Bjorn kicked him away. The other servants saw this and started screaming, and after hearing their screams, some people came out. Misha asked Bjorn what they were going to do now. Bjorn told her to just wait and see. One of the people who came out was Misha's brother, the one Bjorn had met on floor 3 during the Ryakis incident. He asked Bjorn what he was doing and warned him that if he didn't explain properly, he wouldn't get away unscathed. Bjorn said that he was a guest of theirs, yet their guard treated him like an idiot. And as a guard, he even had the nerve to insult a member of this family like Misha. "What kind of behavior is this?" Bjorn demanded. Misha's brother muttered to himself that he had told the servants to restrain themselves in front of outsiders and not go overboard with Misha. Hearing his words, Bjorn thought this place was more messed up than he expected. He asked Misha's brother if that meant he knew everything and still let it happen. Misha's brother grinned and said, "It's a family matter." Then he told Bjorn that if the servant had insulted him, they would punish the servant accordingly. So Bjorn should be satisfied with that. Bjorn's face darkened. "You want me to be satisfied?" Misha was terrified when she heard Bjorn's tone. She didn't know what he would do now. Bjorn walked right up to Misha's brother and asked him if he also had a screw loose in his head. Originally, Bjorn had only planned to teach the rude servant a lesson and leave an impression that he wasn't someone to be taken lightly. But now, if he stopped here, he would look like just another ordinary barbarian. He had to take it one step further. Bjorn shouted at them with his power, almost bursting their ears. Misha's brother asked what the meaning of this was. Bjorn asked him if Misha was being treated this way because she hadn't made a contract with a soul beast despite being of direct blood. Misha's brother said that if he already knew, there was no point hiding it. Yes, it was true. Bjorn asked if it was all because of a misunderstanding. What if Misha already has a contracted soul beast? Will you apologize to her and accept her as one of you? Misha's brother said, "Okay, if she manages to make a contract, then I will apologize to her." But internally, he thought there was no way a half-wit like Misha would ever make a contract at the age of 25. Bjorn said, "Then it's settled." He turned to Misha and told her to show them. Misha said she couldn't do it. If she did, her father would get angry. Bjorn told her to show it anyway and then apologized to him. That's what family does. But Misha still hesitated. Bjorn told her that she should at least do what she wanted, and this time she had an ally by her side. Misha was starting to gather courage, but then her father appeared. He told them to stand down and stop everything. After that, they went inside the mansion to the family head's study. Misha's father told Bjorn that he was glad he accepted the invitation. Bjorn replied kindly and thanked him for inviting him. He then asked why Bjorn had acted that way outside, saying it was disrespectful. That's when he activated his skill Lord of Nightmares, a fear-based ability. Bjorn noticed it immediately. Fear began to spread through his body against his will. It was a horrible sensation. He finally understood why Misha had been so afraid of that man. But even so, Bjorn's resistance prevented him from being fully affected. That ability wouldn't work on him. Mr. Karlstein, looking smug, asked why Bjorn wasn't reacting, but Bjorn simply brushed his hand away and asked how he dared to touch him. When he first heard about the invitation, Bjorn had 2 reasons for accepting it. The first was to prevent Misha from leaving the group if she were accepted back into her family. The chances of that happening would increase significantly. The second was to hide the secret of the beast spirit. Misha's delayed awakening would certainly draw attention, and if her father found out it was triggered by an item, it could become dangerous. That's why Bjorn was there. but the way they treated Misha hadn't changed. Even so, Misha's father tried to assert his authority over Bjorn, asking whether he wasn't afraid of death. Bjorn replied, "I don't know much about death, but I know I'm not afraid of you." He was aware that Misha's father had once been an adventurer of the 8th floor, but that didn't matter to him. If Misha's father tried to kill him, Bjorn's tribe chief wouldn't stand idly by. Then Bjorn asked if he truly believed he could kill him here. Him, a barbarian that everyone was looking for, in the middle of a sanctuary full of anthropes. It would be impossible. If he were killed there, a new war would erupt just like the one 10 years ago against the fairies, because that's how barbarians were. Mr. Karlstein only laughed, but Bjorn noticed it was a nervous laugh. Soon after, the Lord stated that he knew Bjorn had used a certain item. That made Bjorn wonder if he was referring to the spirit of the Snow King. He decided to play dumb. However, Misha's father said he was a terrible actor. Still, Bjorn thought to himself that he had fooled many people before. So he asked Mr. Karlstein to clarify what exactly he meant so he could understand the conversation better. Mr. Karlstein revealed he was referring to the item that allowed a contract with the glacial magical beast called Skadia, and claimed Bjorn definitely knew it. Then Bjorn asked what exactly that item was, and the Lord replied that he would only explain if Bjorn showed it to him. That's when Bjorn realized it was a trap. Mr. Karlstein was bluffing. He knew such an item existed, but had no idea what it actually looked like. His insistence was just a trick to extract that information from Bjorn. Bjorn then concluded that this was why the Lord had made a point of showing how poorly they treated Misha. It was all a manipulation tactic to get what he wanted, even if it meant hurting the girl. At that moment, Bjorn decided to use his greatest weapon, his warrior's oath. He declared upon his honor that he didn't know what item Misha's father was talking about. He sounded so convincing that Mr. Karlstein believed him.